Okay, let's just dive right in. If you're in real estate, you know the feeling. That expired listing. The second that contract ends, dozens of agents are on the phone. It feels like a race, right? But it's a race most people lose. So today, we're going to break down a playbook that's all about turning that frustrating dial tone into a real, actual conversation. So let's start with the big, obvious question. Why are these sellers hanging up on you? Well, think about it from their side. They're frustrated, they're skeptical, and their phone has been ringing off the hook with agents all saying the exact same thing. Their guard is way, way up, and they're basically just waiting for you to ask for their business so they can shut you down. And this really boils down to two totally different ways of doing things. You've got the typical agent who comes in, aggressive, and totally focused on themselves, and yep, they get hung up on. But then you have the strategic agent, and they're different. They're curious, they offer value, and because they're focused on the seller's problem, they don't get a dial tone, they get a conversation.
So here's the game plan for today. We're going to define this radically different approach. Then we'll walk through the playbook phase by phase, how to disarm sellers, how to build value, and finally, how to convert all that trust into a new listing. And it all leads to a whole new mindset for you.
The foundation for this entire strategy, the thing that makes it all work, is a really powerful mental shift. It's about putting curiosity before commission. It means your goal isn't get the listing anymore, it's simply to understand what's going on with the seller.
So what is this curiosity-first mindset, really? It just means your number one goal changes from getting a signature on a contract to just starting a good conversation. See, when you take away the pressure of asking for their business, you completely change the dynamic of the call, and you know what? You actually make them want to talk to you.
This quote just nails it. The goal is to get them to engage with you because you're providing value first. It's a total reframe. You're not a salesperson anymore in their eyes. You're a problem solver, a helpful resource who's just there to offer a different perspective. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Phase 1 is all about that first contact. Your only job in these first few interactions is to disarm the seller, make them curious. You have to sound completely different from every other agent blowing up their phone. Now, this isn't a one-call close kind of deal. It's a whole 25-day campaign. The first 5 days, they are dedicated only to breaking down those defenses. Then you move into offering real value. You follow that with social proof, and only at the very end do you pivot to a clear call to action. So in this first phase, your one and only goal is to lower their guard. Seriously, you want them to get off the phone or finish your email and just think, that was different. Who is this person? That's it. No selling, no pitching, just pure, genuine curiosity. Here's a great example in an email. You immediately show empathy by saying, I'm sure you've been getting a lot of calls. They feel understood. Then you explicitly state, I'm not calling to ask for a listing appointment. Boom, that's the disarm. And you finish with a simple, open-ended question that makes them the expert. It's brilliant. And check out the phone script version. That one little phrase, I'm not even sure I can help, is unbelievably powerful. It's so counterintuitive. It just removes all the sales pressure and makes you sound honest and consultative, not desperate. It opens the door for a real conversation because you're not trying to shove a solution down their throat.
All right, so once you've sparked that little bit of curiosity, it's time for phase 2. This is roughly days 6 through 12. This is where you shift from just being different to being truly valuable. You start building that trust and positioning yourself as the authority.
So how do you offer value without asking for something back? Well, the key is to give them something that helps them understand their situation better. Could be a no-strings-attached market analysis, maybe a helpful report like the top 5 things that make a home sell, or even just offering a totally different kind of conversation, one that's focused 100% on their goals. It's all about giving first. You know, a really simple way to frame the problem for them is to explain that homes usually fail to sell for one of just 3 reasons: price, condition, or marketing. This simple framework takes their huge, complex frustration and makes it simple, and it makes you sound like a strategic expert who can actually diagnose the problem. Here's a perfect email for this phase: a low-pressure, high-value offer. Just notice the language. No obligation. And that soft ask. Would you be open to me sending it over? It's not demanding at all. It's an invitation. You're giving them an easy yes that keeps the conversation going. Okay, now we're moving into the final stages of the campaign. So this is day 13 and on. You've disarmed them. You've provided value. Now it's time to build that rock-solid credibility with social proof and then gently guide them toward making a decision. So these final phases have 2 clear goals. First, you build trust by showing them you've solved this exact problem for other people just like them. Then, once that trust is there, you've earned the right to ask more direct, action-oriented questions to figure out what they really want to do.
Man, this is such a powerful technique. When you share a relatable success story, you're not just telling them you're good at your job. You're showing them. You're painting the picture of what's possible, and you're giving a frustrated seller something they are desperate for: hope. And here it is. This is the pivot. By starting with, "I'm not sure what your plans are, but I'm just curious," you keep that pressure super low, but the question itself gets right to the heart of it. It's a call to action designed to uncover their real roadblock, which of course opens a door for you to offer a specific solution. So as we wrap this all up, let's bring it back to the single most important part of this entire playbook: your mindset. This isn't just about learning new scripts. It's about a fundamental, game-changing shift in how you approach prospecting.
So this is the new playbook, boiled down. First, you shift your goal. It's not about getting the listing. It's about starting a conversation. Second, you lead with genuine curiosity. Ask questions you actually want the answers to. Third, you offer real value. You give before you ever ask. And fourth, you build up to that conversation. You earn the right to ask for that meeting. You don't just demand it.
And that brings us right here to the final thought. See, this isn't just about learning something new. It's about doing something different. So the question for you is pretty simple. Based on everything we just covered, what is the one thing you are going to change on your very next call to an expired listing?